Hello and welcome to Newsworthy Stories with Jacqueline Jimenez. Today we are learning about a young woman who is using her artwork about human trafficking. I've talked about it so much on Newsworthy Stories, but she is talking about their unfinished stories. This young woman, her name is Claudette Sernius, and we are going to learn more about her today. Claudette, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, so excited because we kind of met by chance. And I'm intrigued, right? I want to know what it is, how you came about using this artwork, but the why behind it. Why human trafficking?
So I am a former student from Broward College, and in Broward College, I participated in a program called the Professional Enhancement Program. This program is very much focused on service and finding new opportunities to serve the community. And through this program, I was part of one of the branches, which is called PSG. And their goal was to raise awareness about human trafficking, especially in the college with young students, because that's a really big age group included when it comes to human trafficking, to raise awareness, learn about the signs. And I was able to learn how big of an issue this problem, like this specific issue is, and understanding how much lives are impacted by this. So I wanted to do something about it, and I believe the best way you can do it is through your gifts. The one that I've been given, it's art, so I made sure that I served my community through it.
Well, it must have had an incredible impact on you because a lot of people could have learned from it, but not, taking it to heart as you have. And so these untold stories that you are trying to share, um, tell us about your artwork and tell us about this. I know that you have a piece behind you. So, you can tell me a little bit about it. And then I'm going to, because I don't want the graphic to be in the way. So tell me a little bit about what this artwork is. And then we'll put up the graphics so that they know.
So the works, I've been working on a series of paintings to raise awareness about human trafficking, and they looked unfinished due to my desire for people to understand that there's a lot of people that are going through it at this point in time, and they're not able to finish their stories, but we have the power to make a difference and allow them to finish them. So that's the goal with the little finished painting. I use reference images from children that are dear to me. I am not a mother yet. I wish to be in the future. And it allows me to put any child, because I intentionally left their faces not included in any of the paintings, because I want you to be able to put any little child that you know that it's important to you, that matters, as one of those victims that are going through it right now in this point in time, because it is very, very important that every life matters. So that's my goal with every piece.
So tell us about this exhibit that you're planning, and what you're hoping people will see or gather from it. I see you've got some sponsors, behind you, which is always amazing to do, right? You're so young. When I first met you, I was thinking you were still in college. You're like, no, I graduated. I'm like, oh my gosh, you already graduated. So I'm so bad with age anyway, but you're just like fresh out of college. So tell us, the strategy that you're hoping, that people will understand.
So I applied for a grant from Broward County, and that's what most of that, it's thanks to them that I've been able to, push this type of work out there. So I'm really, really grateful for the Broward County Cultural Division. I also decided to partner with the Mavuno Project, which is a nonprofit that aims to raise awareness about human trafficking here locally in Broward County. So they're gonna come, and I aim to raise awareness about every issue that I decide or that it's put in my path, that I'm called to do. And in this case is specifically human trafficking. So they're gonna bring a representative to make sure to talk about it, give as much information to the public for them to have the ability or the knowledge to do something in the community about it, whether it's within their household, which is very powerful, as much as, you know, doing something like we are right now, taking a step a little further and bringing it to a wider audience. So that's my aim. It's not just about the art, but a vehicle to transmit the message to the public.
What about human trafficking struck you the most? What was the most like shocking thing that, you know, or surprising thing that you learned? Because something, like I said, something impacted you in a way that you felt like you needed to be an advocate.
I believe that every human has value to its core, and I believe it's so inhumane. So I've participated in a lot of events with Broward College through the professional enhancement program, and there were some victims as speakers coming along and like talking about their story. And one of them, I remember she mentioned that was her own family. That exactly. I am very close to my family, and it's baffling to me of how somebody that loves you would do that to you. And that's probably, and not probably, that is one of the issues that they have to go through after they survive, if they do. So it's just how inhumane it is, how you feel so powerless, and it's just ignited something in me that I need to do something about it. If I can, I have the power and I have the freedom to do this.
You said it.
I have the freedom to do this, so I need to do something about it because they can.
And I tell you, your boldness, you know, of how we met, you know, I know it took a lot of courage to stand out there and hand out flyers. You know, you didn't know the people, and there you are, and I just happened to be one of the people.
Yes.
And I was thinking to myself, man, just from that, you know how hard that is for even adults to do. Just stand there and hand out flyers to a group of people you have no idea who they are. And just your boldness gave me courage. I was like, no, I need to check this young lady out. And of course, human trafficking. I newsworthy stories, and I know you're new to it, but I interviewed several people on human trafficking, just like you. There was as a police officer who really opened my eyes to human trafficking when I first moved back to South Florida, and she's with the Broward Coalition. And I'm butchering the name of it, but she is a true advocate for it. But she really taught me a lot about what was happening, and I was, you know, trying to get coverage for her, you know, on this story. So every opportunity I have to remind people that human trafficking is at your doorstep, not in some foreign country. Yeah. We're number 3 and have been number 3 since I remember, you know. That's number 3 in the state of Florida, for, you know, 'cause I know I'm seen in not just Florida, but number 3 in the state of Florida. And we don't want to be number 3. We don't want to be anywhere. No. Nobody should be number 1, 2, or 3, or 50 or whatever it is. We don't want this, and nowhere else in the country. And you're right. It should never happen to anyone. One of my biggest fears, right? Yes. But I do want people to understand also that this you have different types of artwork. And if I can get my cursor to work right, because it's like going everywhere but where I want it to go right now.
Another thing that I wanted to mention too about this is that 10% of the profits will go to the Mavuno project. So it's not just the art, but every person that contributes will help to this cause.
Thank you. Can you now walk us through some of these others like this? At first I was like, is that at first I wasn't sure if it was a ship, but then I go, it does look like a shoe. And then when I finally read it, I was like, oh, it is a shoe. Because at first I saw the picture and I didn't see the writing. So talk us through this, and what are we looking at?
So it's an abstract take on a shoe. Again, a shoe is just an object, but we make it something functional, something that means something to us. We walk on them every single day. So this one specifically, it's Walk a Mile in My Shoes. And it also aims to raise awareness about human trafficking. So the aim is for it to feel very uncomfortable, to feel like you don't want to get into that shoe because it's not easy. It's not pretty. It's made out of steel. You know that you're going to get hurt. So the materials are trying to communicate the restraints that some of these victims are in. So it's just a visual representation of what it would feel to be in their shoes.
Okay, I'm going to go to the next heel. Now, I was like, okay, that's creative. I don't even know what you made this straw one out of. It looks like straw. What is that?
That's actual hay. Yeah, so this is kind of where my shoe, my interest for them, I guess, started. So the way that nowadays, the high heel specifically, it's viewed is in a more feminine sexual matter, or the way that I've seen it, I guess. So I wanted to take it back and see where it started. Was it always this way? So I decided to do a little research on the high heel and where it started and how we view it now, and where and which specific times of history did it represent something different. So the one in the middle is, as you can tell, it's made out of hay. So it represents where the heel started. So started for boots for cowboys not to be able to fall off their horses.
Nice.
So another thing that I like to do with my art is just to kind of allow people to educate themselves through a more like fun fact, things that you may not know. So the heel started for horseback riders not to fall off their horses, so it would allow them to stay on. Then during the 14th century, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember exactly what period of time, it would be the one on the right-hand side from where I'm viewing, the one with all the little bedazzle. So it represents Louis the 14th. So during that period of time, the only people that were able to wear heels were the ones that were in royalty, because it's not necessarily the most comfortable or convenient way of working, standing for a long period of time.
Yet we do it. So many women do it every day. I'm just putting that out there.
Exactly. So it was really interesting for me to know that during that period of time, it was only royalty, because you had the luxury that you did not need to work or stand for a long period of time, so you can wear these kind of shoes. And another thing that I thought it was really interesting is that Louis XIV was the reason why they painted their heel red, and that's also why Louis Vuitton paints the red bottoms.
Okay, all right.
I thought that was a fun, interesting thing. And then during World War II, to encourage the soldiers overseas, they started to use it on pinup girls. And photography came along, so taking pictures of this woman. So I wrapped the whole shoe and made it with words that describe different periods of time of where it got to this point, and pinup girls.
Okay.
From World War II, yes.
Well, I love history. I am a journalist, so I do love history, and so I can talk all day. Now we're gonna switch gears a little bit, because you went from heels to wine country. So give us an idea of what we're looking at, and then in the next couple of pictures, I want to show you what she did with a different form.
So I became a little interested in wine I started working with it, but I was not really familiar because I never really consumed it. So I decided to learn about it. So I did research on the 6 wines that are majorly consumed here in the US and where they come from. So we consume a lot of different things, but at times we don't know where their origin is. So I decided to find the different countries that allow us to have all that we have. So each piece, it represents a different wine, and each corner or point or anywhere that you see it bent, it's a point in the map connected. So each corner that represents a different country.
Wow, that
Because
is
they
so.
mapped it out in that way.
I'm like, what kind of brain do you have exactly? I mean, how you think it's, and that's what makes it art, right? It makes it unique, it makes it artistic, and there's so much thought into it. And then this is the Swirl series.
Yes. So those are a take on the wine as well. So I decided to take all the countries that I researched and do an abstract shape of them. Some of them are more noticeable than others. And then the lines represent how many wines they produce that we consume.
And you'll have to go to her site because I only put up a few of the pictures, I just whatever I could grab, which would still keep, so these are only a few of them. You need to go to her website, which of course has been scrolling across the bottom here. And then what I love though is that you took it and you made it something we can be reminded of every day. And then you made it, into these cups. And I love that. So can you tell us about that?
So with my art, I like to not just, put it on anything. I wanted to kind of make you understand my thought process, I guess. So these are wine tumblers. So each one has a design of the paintings that I created. And so the paintings themselves are made with wine. And there might be another series of them because wine over time changes color. And at this point in time, the paintings, the way that you see them on my website, look very different as where they look now. So it's very interesting of the process of oxidation and a lot of things. It's almost chemistry. Well, not almost. It is chemistry in a visual form.
Yeah. Wow, that is, I love what you have done. I want to, make sure that, we go back to the beginning and talk about the unfinished story and tell us once again, like where it is, what people should know, who they should bring, who do you want them to bring to your event?
I think also the fact that I'm making it in a Broward College is important to bring young people to raise awareness about these issues because a lot of them are being told different things to do certain things, and at times it's very misleading and it can lead to something like this. So for them to be aware of the signs, be aware of things to look out for, different platforms that are being used for evil things, I will call. So I would like to see a lot of young people there because the aim is to raise awareness. And it's going to be Saturday, June 29th. So I'll really like to see as many people as possible, aim to raise awareness, listen to the Mbuna project and everything they have to share. And it's going to be starts at 5 to 9 in the building 6 lobby. It's right across from the parking garage.
And okay, so this is one event. Are there other events that you are coming or that or like if people wanted to do this in a different setting, or have you on as a speaker, or is there something like that they can do that as well?
I'm open to the possibilities. I'm open to the opportunities as I am here today. I'm very, very grateful. And yeah, I'm open to it. I don't have any more exhibitions scheduled at this point in time with this work. I am planning to continue and connect with other nonprofits, and perhaps I have some projects in mind. I just need to work on a proposal and, show it to a few people and see if I get also sponsored for the next group of projects. So that's what's in the making for me for right now.
Yeah, so this is not going to be a one-time thing for one, because I'm looking at the painting behind you, and I know that there are so many more. I've gotten some peeks at some of the other, that's on your site, and I'm thinking, okay, so this is going to be phenomenal work. So we have to figure out one when to show it, but to get people an idea of how to take advantage of the work that you've done, so that it will be seen and known. Um, because it is a vitally important effort and initiative that you're doing, and like I said, I'm going to definitely be posting some of the stories, interviews that I've had, along with this one in the comments, so that people who don't understand human trafficking have even an idea. But we want to come out and support her. But even like this time of the year, when kids have nothing to do, this is a vitally important time for your kids to understand uh, how to not be targeted. And so take your student, take your child. I know as young as 7, 10, not, uh, they take advantage. I think 11, year olds are some of the targets, and you need to understand and know the truth, and go see her beautiful artwork in the process. So thank you so much, Claudette, for your boldness. So I got to meet you, and I'm getting to share your story a little bit. And hopefully, I'll be able to take my own kids down, if that's a possibility.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time and sharing your story with us.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.